Hey guys, General Tabby here, and today we find ourselves talking about an old topic on the channel today, one which has returned, and the drama surrounding it, and the drama we find ourselves involved with. So let's just begin. Yes, Overwatch 2 is what we're talking about. It is on the background. That means I have actually re-downloaded Overwatch 2 because I did delete it quite quickly, to be honest, after Overwatch 2 came out, and we're going to talk about it. So, for anyone who doesn't know who I am, I used to play Overwatch 1. I played it pretty much from the beginning. I didn't play like comp or anything from the beginning, but I started off playing it on Xbox, and I ended up really enjoying it. When I got a PC, I got it on PC, and it became kind of the community game. It became part of the stream. It became a core element of the stream, is what I should say, because it's the game I played pretty much the most on stream. I made friends, we built like a community, and a lot of my content all revolved around Overwatch. So I became very attached to Overwatch. Even my emotes, everything was pretty much dedicated to Bob. Even the bot I coded myself was Bob. That's what we dubbed the bot. So it became quite an important thing to me personally, did Overwatch, and to the channel. Some of the most views I've ever got is from some of my Overwatch videos. Again, a lot of this is based on skins. I like to collect that kind of stuff in games, and Overwatch, I really did enjoy the events. Fast forward, Overwatch 2 came out, updated, replaced Overwatch 1, and I didn't like it. Did not like it, and a lot of other people voiced this opinion. Now recently, Overwatch became available on Steam, which is currently what I have it downloaded on. And with this came a flood of negative reviews, to the point it is overwhelmingly negative currently on Steam. Now this is actually an old number. It is, as far as I'm aware, it's surpassed 60,000 negative reviews now. It's actually, I don't know if it's the or one of the top negative reviewed games of all time on Steam. So over to the drama. Now this is where it begins, and it's not just a few people. I mean, there's all kinds of drama with it, with various people, mainly with the content creators. Now, I don't class myself as an Overwatch content creator anymore. Like I said, some of the content I've made on Overwatch is where I've got the most engagement, and it used to be, again, the main game that we streamed. I used to play comp. I actually were pretty good at comp. I actually got quite far. I actually placed Diamond in comp, so I weren't too bad. I wasn't a world best player, but I did get to Diamond, and I did quite enjoy. I didn't always enjoy with randoms, however, but I enjoyed the game, and I enjoyed the events. I enjoyed coming on to open loot boxes on stream and just earn them for free, and go, oh, the Christmas event's coming up, look at these new skins, let's open all the boxes we've earned through the event at the end of it and see what we get. And it was something I really enjoyed. Quite a few of us did. So some content creators of Overwatch have started complaining. I mean, a lot of these are the same people who have complained about Overwatch themselves throughout, and fueled the flame of hate towards the game in various communities, or various pockets of Overwatch communities. So the only reason I'm showing Questrons is because Questron is the person I'm currently debating things with over the game, and I disagree with them. So this isn't I don't know, like, this isn't me trying to cause drama with this specific person. It is just the one I'm currently involved with debating. So that's why it's relevant. So this content creator is standing by firmly with Overwatch 2, which, fair enough, if you're enjoying the game, you would, which is fair enough. The problems I start to see, though, is when other people voice their opinion on why the game is frustrating, and we just get the same loop of a response that just because they think that this is review bombing, which I'm not saying it is or it isn't, I'm just saying they are still negative reviews. They're on loop saying, oh, but it's review bombing, it doesn't count. Does it not? Because, in my opinion, you do not review a game negatively if you like the game. Fair enough, they're not very detailed of these reviews, and they're very much, meme based, or they're not actually talking about how the game currently runs, which I understand that. The point is, if you enjoy playing the game, it doesn't affect the ones that are already enjoying the game. But you wouldn't write them, you wouldn't waste your time doing review bombing for something you actually enjoyed. So their argument is, current state of the game's amazing. Everyone should be playing it. It's better than the original. But that's your opinion. It's actually not better in a lot of ways for people that have played it since it came out. It's no longer what we want to play. And the current state of the game still has in a lot of these core mechanics we don't want. So people are now able, finally, to voice their opinion on a platform that people can see it. It can be visually represented. And that's what we have here. We finally have it. So, because we've got this, Overwatch content creators now are angry because people can actually voice their opinion. And yes, fair enough, a lot of them, it is very humorous reviews rather than serious ones. But it is still their opinion. They are still allowed to write that and say that it's a bad game. They might not go into detail why. They might not have played it for 3 months. But in this latest drop, a lot of the things people are annoyed at are still actually in the game. So after the gist of it, some of the points in here really annoy me, okay? And going to this degree to defend a game, but by then writing statements which aren't true, infuriate me. And that's where I have a problem, and that's why I think that it's content creators like this that are just standing by it. And I kind of get why. Like, they're endorsed by Overwatch, so it's kind of a working relationship in it. They don't want to badmouth Overwatch because they're getting really good publicity from it. It's something I understand. That's an element of it I understand. But if we go further down, so this first bit annoys me. In general, with the whole, you're no longer the target demographic. That, to me, is a big red flag. And obviously, a lot of people support this statement as well. A lot of people actually, I say a lot of people, but a chunk of people support the idea of someone like me no longer being the target demographic. Now, like I said in the beginning, I am a veteran Overwatch player. Fair enough, I'm not saying you pander to the veterans in every way. But these people are the ones who've supported the game and helped shape the game over years. So if you don't make them your target demographic, of course you are just going with a new business model, whatever. In other words, you're just going with what makes you the most money, or what you think might make you the most money the quickest. Because apparently it's run out of funding, is what someone said. I don't even know how true this is. I don't believe a lot of what Blizzard say, personally. And I don't believe a lot of what the current fan base say as well. So, if I'm no longer a target demographic, that means a lot of people aren't. And a lot of people that used to play the game and enjoy it. So you're targeting a new demographic, according to this content creator. So someone who played the game from the beginning, enjoyed the game, played it often, did all the events, made content for it. I have helped sell probably a decent chunk of Overwatch games because my content was based on the skins and even the editions you could get. So people in their hundreds would ask me questions about the game. And what skins do you get? If I buy this edition, what do I get? And even like things they should be asking the customer support. I still helped. And it probably helped in some way boost their sales. Now obviously my content's only reaching like maybe a couple of 100,000 people. But a couple of 100,000 people buying a game which is pay to play is still a contribution. And I'm not saying they all purchased it because of my videos. I'm saying I helped in my way, making the content I did for a game which was pay to play. So people bought this game, and there was a certain experience they intended to have with it. This becomes our next issue, which is addressed further on, and I'll come back to the target demographic and why I think it's kind of ridiculous what's put. So we start getting into then demographics, and I'm trying to think where is the next bit. There was something said, and it just, I think it's what someone else put to start with. Yeah, this isn't it. Anyway, we'll try and find it. Someone pointed out that if you change the target demographic, sorry, I think it is on this one. Here we go. If you change the target demographic, that is a problem. Okay. But this is where it gets really, I'd say funny, but it's actually frustrating. So, Questron here then decides to start talking about reused content, okay? Their argument is that if the game has some reused assets, which is a known practice for certain games, that this means it justifies this no longer being the same game. So you can't just change the demographic of a game after 5 years and get away with it. This is the game I bought in 2016 with features removed and worse MTX. So this I completely agree with. Well, this is actually the game you bought in 2016 anymore. Now this is the problem, because you're partially being incorrect for a start, because it is the same game as it was purchased. It was the same transaction, okay? You bought in 2016. But you're also admitting they've changed the game enough for it to be not classed as the same game, which is true because they've called it Overwatch 2, as in they've changed some core element of the game. Now, what you normally do, and which should have been done, is that if the game is going to be released with some core differences, you would release it as a separate title. It would be a separate release, and it would require a separate transaction. Okay, these are very important words. So, here, someone is who doesn't work for Overwatch, who isn't an employee, who doesn't work for Blizzard, and is wrong. But they're still under this impression of it isn't the same game, so they've changed enough, you're admitting they've changed enough, but it is the same transaction. You've put 2016 anymore. Now, what someone pointed out, and I think this is the simplest way you can put it, especially for people not quite grasping the concept, and I don't know exactly where it is, we might come across it, but someone pointed out that they actually access this game using the same disc that they bought for Overwatch 1. Now, that is incredibly important. So, when it comes to stuff like this, when it comes to arguing about files and stuff, yeah, people reuse content in games. Reusing assets and content in a game is fine. It's when you release it into a separate game. So you can reuse assets from a previous title and put it into a new title. Now that's fine, because that game, when it is released, will have a certain level of expectations to it. As in, they have to tell the person before they purchase it what they're getting. Now, if you sell someone a product and then change it partway through, you would actually just release it as a separate title, like I said. But if you're going to update the same title, the same release, and there's a drastic change, you either offer some form of reward or compensation, because a lot of games are turning free to play now, which aren't. So they normally reward the founders of the game. Now, I don't recall getting anything like that with Overwatch. I actually had to purchase the Founders Edition thing for Overwatch 2 separately. So for a game I already own, I had to then buy the Founders Edition for it becoming a new game. So I didn't receive any reward, compensation, or a chance to refund. I didn't get these things because it was patched as an update. Now, going back to the person that said about the disc being how they access their game, and again, like, I'm not sure. This has been going on for a while. Here we go, found it. I literally still use the Overwatch 1 disc to play Overwatch 2. It's the same game. It is the same release. They've changed the title and they've updated it. But when you publish a game, and I've got experience in publishing games, it's different. You have to do it as a release. So a particular release will have different stages to it and stuff. And now, obviously, going through Steam or Blizzard's own stuff and their publishing, I don't know the exact protocol for how they do it, but I imagine it's similar across the board in terms of, for example, when I've published mobile games or things for Android, I have to go through a very tedious task line. I have to go through doing all these different things. First, you've got kind of your close testing, which don't require as much. Then after that, you've got to add lots of things, like even who it's targeted at, not just its age range, like what content is in the game. There's lots of steps. If I changed the game between two of these stages before release, and I changed quite a lot of it, and it's before release, they might say, everything so far you've used to describe the game is very different from this new update, because you've not actually put this content in any of the descriptions or anything. So I'd have to redo it. Before release, I would then be allowed to release if everything checks out, because it's verified by someone else. So if it's going to get sold on a platform, I'm not saying all of them will have some agent that checks through everything, but you can get in trouble if something's incorrect. So when you've bought Overwatch 1, and then magically it appears into Overwatch 2, the product you've paid for has changed. Now, when people look at the core game, they'll say, a few things have changed. We've got some new characters, there's some new maps, we've been given extra content, this is amazing, this is what we want. The problem is their monetization has changed. And the problem with that is it's quite a big difference. So, like I said, after release, if you then change something, it's awkward. To me, it's a grey area. I'm not even sure how legal it exactly is. Like I said, because they've not offered a chance for a refund. But if you do these things in when you're publishing, like I said, it should be under a separate release. I understand DLC comes out for games and it does change quite a lot of foundations or the way things are done in the game, especially like in MMOs, things update online or all the time in them. But especially if it's free to play, it's a bit different. But when you publish and then after it's released, if you then just threw down a whole different type of game, and when it's being like reviewed, someone would look at it and go, there's some stuff that don't quite match here between these two versions. So you've updated the game, but you've already had people purchase this game under the pretense that it will play this way. Now, the biggest one I can use in this, because changing it from 6 formation to 5 whatever, I understand that can come under like it's changing the game for like improving it, quality of life, but also just the dynamic of the game they're trying to improve. It's the monetization in the game. They've brought a battle pass system into the game. Battle pass system, which in my opinion, I think it sucks. They've taken a game that worked well as it was with the monetization, not for everyone. I know some people complained. But now you have this to compare to. In my opinion, it sucks. I think it was far more fun to log in an event and try and get the skin you wanted. And when you got dupes, you got a currency which allowed you to pay for them. Now, not everybody earned enough each time to get them. The problem is, when they release store skins in this game, you have to pay for the battle pass, which is to grind and, just hope there's a skin in there you like. And I know you're getting for what you pay for as such. But when it comes to the store releases, which are a bit more appealing, it's more money. You're required to spend more money in the game. So the game's become a bit more cash grabby. Now, on top of that, we were promised Overwatch 2 was going to be a PvE experience with multiplayer. So people got the hopes up. We also thought it was going to be a separate file, a separate game, separate release. When we finally found out these things weren't happening, we got a game which has a battle pass system. You can't earn loot boxes in the game. You can't even pay for loot boxes in the game anymore to try and obtain these skins. You have to just throw money at it. You have to pay money for the battle pass to unlock the skins. You have to pay money for the skins in the store that you want. But now, the PvE experience, we also have to pay additional on top. And it's actually nothing like what we thought. I've been told, because I haven't purchased it, it's free missions. You have to pay $15 for free missions in a game that was meant to be released with PvE. We haven't got this kind of stuff. So this argument of it's not the same game anymore. It's a separate game. But you have deleted Overwatch 1, which was a different gaming experience. I don't care if you like the game as it is and think they've improved it. What you're doing is being ignorant to the fact it is a different title. Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 are different games. They've reused a lot of the same assets to the point it was basically the same game but worse. That is how I would compare it. But taking away the player's option to play Overwatch 1, which was a paid for release, to me is a grey area. Now, I'm not saying they have broke the law. What I'm saying is they shouldn't have done it. They should have given players the chance, the option to play. Like with Destiny 1 and 2, they released them as two separate games because there was different elements. They could have done a massive update for Destiny 1, but they didn't. They wanted to release it as a separate. People could still play Destiny 1. Now, that's probably not the best example, but for a game like this, a MOBA, they could have just released a separate title and kept everybody happy. But no, they wanted to force people into a battle pass system where people have to pay every 3 months, but then if there's any skins they really want in the store, that's more money. It's going to cost you. And you have to grind for everything. Now, people used to come on and grind for loot boxes, and it was fun. It was just something for free for a game you'd already paid for. But now we have got an item, we've lost the thing we paid for, and we've got a thing which, in our opinion, a lot of our opinions, it is a worse experience. So, back to who am I? I am no longer the demographic for this game, apparently. Even though, like I said, I was someone who enjoyed a lot of the game, supported it, and I actually weren't a bad player either. But I'm not the demographic anymore. If I'm not the demographic, then what you've done is just rounded up a load of players that are completely new to the game because it's free. And the people that enjoyed it and knew how to play the game originally, a lot of people have left. So you just have these people whose only experience now is that, this game, it's an experience where it's brand new, it's free. I'm going to watch some content creators that have still stuck with the game, and that's it, that's their experience. They have nothing to compare it to. And then the ones who can compare it, some of them are like, I think it is a better experience now. But from the point of view of playing it, and these people might not be caring about the money they're spending on it. We wanted a better playing experience. So I'm not saying all of the mechanics in the game, gameplay wise, are bad, because like I said, it's basically the same game. There's a few extra heroes. They've even used all the same maps. I'm not saying they broke all of them mechanics, but they even got rid of the play of the game stuff at the end, or the little where you could endorse people at the end, little things like that which made the game Overwatch. They got rid of. We just wanted a game that still ran well. Yeah, fair enough. They tweaked the formation and they didn't want as much of the like shields and stuff like that. I'm not saying them things were a problem, but that could have been done on an update for Overwatch 1 and just kept things as they were. We wanted that. We didn't want you to scrap the things we enjoyed, plonk a battle pass in it, and then still not actually give us the PvE and then say, we're going to charge you again on top of that. It's not what we wanted. We'd have been happy to pay for a separate experience if we chose to keep Overwatch 1 and then say, when it's fully released, it's got all the content there, we'll check it out, review it. Then we might pay for it if we want to, and then try that experience. But who am I? I am someone who it's not even made for anymore. So I'm sorry this has been like a 20-odd minute rant. But I do enjoy Overwatch. You can see over there, I've got the Overwatch Lite. I used to enjoy coming in, flicking that on before a stream. I even have a... Sorry guys, I even have a loot box. I have an Overwatch loot box. I don't know if you guys can see it properly, but here we go. Overwatch was probably my favourite game at one point. And in my opinion, Blizzard, you have ruined it. Now, there's a lot of things to go through here, and I'm not going to, because I've been doing this video long enough. But there are lots and lots and lots of tweets, a lot of these quote tweets, just people whinging about people whinging. If you enjoyed a game, why does this bother you so much? It's just people can finally voice their opinion. Yes, they're doing it in a very meme-worthy way, I agree. But it is their opinion. They don't like the game anymore. Blizzard probably aren't going to change the game based on this, if that's what you're worried about. And even if you would worry, what's so wrong with them maybe making it better and saying, do you know what, this Battle Pass system being integrated into a game that already existed and people enjoyed, maybe wasn't the best idea. Let's give them back loot boxes. They can earn loot boxes. But because the game's free to play now, that's not going to work. It's not going to fill their pockets quite enough. So I understand the game earned money and it was a live service game, but they do work for Blizzard and it's not like they have no money. So yeah, they've changed things up to a degree. I understand some of it. If funding really is an issue, they needed a new business model and stuff like that. But again, they should have just made it as a separate game, and if you wanted all these new players for this new demographic to come in, that's how you would have done it. Just give us two separate games. That would have been it. I'd have been happy playing Overwatch 1, and these new people would have enjoyed playing Overwatch 2. I completely accept a lot of people disagree with me on this, but I understand a lot of people actually do agree with me on this, and are actually on the same side as me. And there's some people who've been getting really passionate into their arguing during this, and some people who haven't. But at the end of the day, we all see things differently. And I understand some points people have made, but yeah, but this graveyard ideas and stuff like that, again, there's some people who they stopped playing and they were like, it's not getting enough updates and stuff like that. I still played it, I still enjoyed it, I know other people did. There was a middle ground somewhere. They could have worked on a middle ground, but yeah. And also when I first installed it, it wasn't even working, so I haven't actually been able to play a successful match yet on here, which is a problem in it on the new release. So we'll see. We are gonna hop in on stream, so hop over to my Twitch if you want to see me come back for a trial to see if it's actually improved, and I will try again. But I really don't think with the business model I'm going to be like supporting it. And I'm sure there are still other issues and stuff like that. But yeah, it used to be such a good game. But I am willing to at least try it again and accept that I don't know its current state of play. I accept that. That's why I've re-downloaded it. So I'm trying to be fair, I'm trying to listen to people and take some feedback seriously and accept that the review bombing might not reflect on its current state of play. I'll give the like events and stuff a try. I can't play as any of the new heroes. I've been told you can grind to unlock them, but the problem is, if you go to the battle pass, where do you unlock the new character? And it'll say free. So this is unlocking. So you've got to get to 45 to get the new character. But the problem is, if you look at heroes, it says here that they are locked. Unlock via hero challenge. But where is hero challenge? Challenges. Hero. Win 35 games. Queued as all role, playing as tank. So you can unlock the old heroes, it seems. See, if that's true, if I'm reading all this right, and that's what it's saying, that you cannot be cleared against game practice in AI, that's fine. But if you can unlock these still, then that is good. That is good. I'm just, and obviously you can even unlock the new one without paying it. It's a free unlock, so stuff like that's okay. I just genuinely think, like, this skin, it's alright. I wouldn't want to grind this battle pass. I mean, you go to the shop and is there any skins that we'd want? I don't know. Anyway, it's just the way they've done it. They've just changed it from what it used to be, and it's not as good. I understand the letter used a currency from before. So if you go pick a character and go to their skins, it shows you your old credits and stuff like that. But there was a weird thing when it first dropped, that certain skins that you didn't have that you wanted, they changed to still needing to be purchased with the current gold system. So then when you looked at your credits from the original game, you didn't have them. So you can only buy certain ones with the old credits. So it didn't even matter if you'd played the original game, because it only let you unlock certain ones. So they were just sneaky with a lot of things, which ruined it. Certain tokens never transferred over properly, or when you watched the streams it never added to. But I'm glad my competitive points moved across. I'm nearly at another gold weapon, but again, if I play it. So yeah, I don't know. I will try it again. Like I said, I accept that I've not for a while, so I will. But I still think that all these people on Twitter and stuff doing the arguing, complaining about people giving it bad reviews, accept that that is their opinion. They won't review bomb it for a game that they like. It's just a game that they've changed the business model, and the truth is it's still in a way that isn't appreciated. This isn't what we want. I say we, a lot of you guys probably don't even care, and you're just like, free game, look at this is new model. It's just, if a game releases like that though from the start, it's fine. Changing an existing game into it sucks, and you have to accept that. You might not like it, you might even not have that opinion, but That's ours. So I know this has been a long rant. I will try it again. I probably am still going to keep arguing with people on the internet over it, because why not? But what's it going to change? Blizzard really, they're not going to change it back now, are they? If people keep funding and lining their pockets with it being this way, why on earth would they change it? It'll probably stay like this, and eventually it might die out, and that's when they'll start thinking of, should we change it back or anything like that. So anyway, I guess we will see. I'm General Tabby, and I will probably rant about something in another video. So until then, take care, guys. Bye for now.